Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Guys, today I'm going to give my power rankings going into week one. Obviously, week one will dictate a lot, and we're really just going based on last season to kind of get power rankings for this season. Because again, these are just based on projections of what I think is going to happen and how I think the week one is going to go. So starting off right away, we have the worst team in football, and I do have them ranked as the Arizona Cardinals. Let's be honest, they're trying to tank for Caleb Williams, and they're going to do everything in their power to tank this game. Their new head coach, which thankfully is not Lou Gannon, actually said that they don't know who the starting quarterback is because they want a competitive advantage. That team is so bad. They're going to end up getting Caleb Williams and trading away Kyler Murray eventually. But for this moment in time, they're number 32 on my list for a good reason. That team is absolutely trash. Number 31, the LA Rams. Another team. Cooper Kupp's not going to be playing week one. It's not really going to matter at all. The Seahawks should handle the business here versus the LA Rams. It's going to be an ugly game. I think it's going to most likely be a blowout by the Seahawks here. And I don't think the Rams stand any type of chance in this game. Van Jefferson's going to be triple covered. Tyler Higbee's not going to do much. I know they got Cam Akers, but I don't like anything from the Rams side in this game. So I think after this first week, they're going to start off 0-1. And I'm probably going to keep them where these last two teams won't move after week one. Next team, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They take on the Minnesota Vikings, another team that I just think is not as much of a tanking for Caleb Williams sweepstakes. I think they're going to try to get Caleb Williams. Again, there are like 3 or 4 different really good quarterbacks in this next draft, but Caleb Williams is the guy. He's like if you take Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow and put him in one player. Like, that's how good he is. But Bucks are going to stay here probably after week one, let's be honest. 29, the Raiders. The Raiders could surprise us. If they beat the Broncos, I might move them up a couple spots and move the Broncos down a couple spots. It really depends on how this game goes. The Raiders blow out the Broncos, which I highly doubt they're going to do, but who knows? Maybe Jimmy G is that guy. And, you know, he was just being held back by the 49ers. So if that's the case, then yeah, the Raiders could move up a little bit on my 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 power rankings for week 2, and the Broncos could go down. But I think the Broncos handle the business here. I'm not expecting this to be in any way high scoring affair. I expect this game to be maybe 17-13, and that's pretty much that. But number 28 is going to be the Houston Texans. And again, I expect the Ravens to get the W here, so Texans probably stay the same going into next week. 27, the Tennessee Titans. I feel so weird putting the Titans this far down the list because I feel like they are a pretty okay team, but they're going to have to prove it. I mean, yes, Derrick Henry is one of the best running backs in the NFL. That's easily, truth. But I don't know how this whole DeAndre Hopkins situation is going to work out. I do have faith in Treylon Burks to get the job done there, but I don't know. They're going to have to prove it. If they can win week 1 versus the Saints, I don't think the Saints are a tough matchup. I will be moving them up a tad bit, but it really depends on how they play week 1. Because going into this season, I'm going to have to put them where I put them. Number 26, Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson makes me think this Indianapolis Colts squad is going to be actually somewhat serviceable. I know they got no Jonathan Taylor for 4 weeks. That's definitely going to be a loss. But I just feel like they're going to go into this season. And I think Anthony Richardson's just going to become that guy who takes off. And everyone talks about how... Remember when the Colts took Anthony Richardson and he's like the best player they ever took in their career? Like, that's the type of player Anthony Richardson could be for the Colts if everything works out correctly. 25, New England Patriots. They take on the Eagles, and I think they're going to get blown out. And I think week 2, they're going to find themselves at 27 or 28 for me. And if the Titans win, maybe Titans at 25. Giants at Cowboys. I'm not too much of a fan of the Giants this year. I feel like last year everyone thought they were going to suck. They had an easier schedule, so no one really took them serious. And they actually did win a lot of games. And they do actually have a pretty dang good head coach. So I got to give them for that reason, the credit. But I don't think Daniel Jones is the guy. I think they overpaid him. I don't think they should have paid him. I think they should have gave Saquon Barkley that money and went elsewhere with quarterback. But it is what it is at this moment in time. They made the bed and they have to sleep in it. They do play the Dallas Cowboys week 1. This is not going to be an easy matchup by any stretch of the imagination. I believe this is Sunday night or is Monday night? This is Sunday Night Football, and it's in New York, though, so that should give, New Jersey, that should give them somewhat of help, but I think the Cowboys win this game, so I'm going to have the Giants 24. 23, Denver Broncos versus the Raiders. This game, whoever wins this game will go up, and whoever loses will go down. Now, I want to go ahead and say this real fast. When it comes to power rankings, not every time a team will lose or win will they move up and down. Let's say they lose a really close game. I might keep them in the same spot they were last week or move them down one spot. But for the most part, unless you get blown out, you're not going to really move down a lot of spots, right? Now, if you show me that, one team is just playing really good, even if they win 17 to like 3 or 4 example, then yeah, I'm probably going to move that one team that looked really good up. It depends on what they do. I mean, if they have 2 kickoff returns in the game and they win the game by 2 touchdowns, I'm not calling it like that. That's 2 fluky plays. If you give me 2 touchdowns on offense and you really show that you're better than the opponent, then I'll move you up. 21, though. Chicago Bears. Justin Fields, DJ Moore. They have a pretty okay defense. Khalil Herbert. I mean, they have a solid roster. They have a 21st in the league type of roster. Number 20 is the New Orleans Saints. Another squad, like I said before, that I think is pretty solid. They have Derek Carr now. Obviously, Alvin Kamara is out for 3 games. That's going to be a huge loss. Michael Thomas is healthy? Question mark? We'll see how healthy he gets. Number 19, the Atlanta Falcons. Do I have them actually ranked the highest? Yeah, I have them ranked the highest out of all the NFC South teams. And I think they win the division, but I think they're going to do it in a very ugly fashion, and they're barely going to make the playoffs. So, 19 is where we're at right now. They should just run the ball 20,000 times, because they didn't play Desmond Ridder in preseason that much, and I think that they're trying to bank on Bijan Robinson and Tyler Agnew. Do it. Just go all out on those 2 guys. Number 18, Packers. I got to see what Jordan Love looks like and how good Jordan Love is. If Jordan Love surprises me and he looks absolutely S+ tier, this team could be way up on the list the following week. But again, like I said, I need to see how good, Jordan Love looks before I kind of commit to that. Commanders, I think they have so much potential this upcoming season. I really do believe that. I'm not like the biggest, craziest fan on the Commanders going into this year, but I will say overall wise, I think that they're a very good wild card team that not a lot of people are, looking at. And again, they have obviously Sam Howell, not the greatest quarterback of all time, but he actually looked pretty serviceable, pretty good. They got Scary Terry, they got Gibson, they got a really good offensive line. They also got Brian Robinson, they got Curtis Samuel, they got Jahan Jackson. They have a really good defense. If Chase Young could stay healthy, they got Montez Sweat. If he can stay healthy, there's a lot of things to be, excited about when it comes to the Commanders this upcoming season. All right, next team we have here. Let me go ahead and move this up real fast. We got the Minnesota Vikings. I think the Vikings last year was absolutely a fluke, and they got exposed in the playoffs by the Giants. So I'm not expecting too much, but they played the Bucs week 1, and they're going to destroy them. So they're probably going to sit at that 16th spot in week 2 too. All right, number 15, the Lions, probably the most overhyped / correctly hyped team in the NFL. Going into this year, everyone thinks the Lions are going to be the best, and I think the Lions are going to be really good. I don't think they're going to be as good as people are making them out to be. I just think that, in general, you're always going to get that overhyped nature, that overhypedness when it comes to, football fans, especially when you have Lions who haven't been the best team for the last 15, 16 years. So you just, once now they're good, everyone's like, oh, I won, I want to bandwagon off that team and be the guy who was, a fan of them before they were amazing. Browns are number 14, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate from that from Browns fans. But listen, at the end of the day, I got to see what Deshaun Watson does. I got to see how good Deshaun Watson plays this season. I have to see something from him because you cannot tell me 6 games last year is enough to show me Deshaun Watson's old Deshaun Watson, okay? I know you guys have Nick Chubb, and he's amazing. I know you guys have a pretty decent receiving core and a great defensive line. But I need more than that to give you a top 10 ranking, Browns. Number 13 is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I need to see Matt Canada's offense really thrive this year. I want to see how Najee Harris approaches everything because obviously Jaylen Warren is the up-and-coming superstar. And I want to see how Kenny Pickett does. I want to see if he can really progress in his sophomore season and if he's going to be able to, get that done. So right now I'm at 13 because, again, they have a tough matchup for the 49ers. But the 49ers do not have George Kittle out there, which, ironically enough, he's the one who said he could block one-on-one with TJ Watt. So, yeah, this is going to be fun. Ravens, number 12. They play the Houston Texans. Should be an easy matchup. I wouldn't be surprised if they blow out the Texans. If they blow out the Texans, I am not moving them up inside the top 10. Again, like I said, it also depends on the strength of your opponent. I don't think the Texans are that good of a team. As I show my power rankings. Number 11 and then number 10, Seahawks and then Chargers. Again, both these teams are going to be playoff teams this year. I think they're kind of like fringe 10A, 10B for Seahawks, Chargers for the 10th spot here. You could really, switch them around. I think there could easily be the same here. Seahawks, I don't think Geno Smith's going to replicate what he did last year, but they start off versus the Rams, and that's going to be a very, very easy opponent. So I think that they can really start off the season correctly. Number 9 is the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, they played the New York Giants week 1. Number 8 is the Dolphins. They played the Chargers week 1. Number 7 is the Jets. I'm not as high on the Jets as other people are, and I'll probably never be. Number 6, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Number 5, the Buffalo Bills. Number 4, the San Francisco 49ers. Number 3, the Philadelphia Eagles. And you probably already guessed, number 2, the Kansas City Chiefs. And my best team in week 1 going into the season is, of course, Who Dey Nation with the Cincinnati Bengals. And I know Chiefs fans already going to comment, blah, 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 we're better than the Bengals. I don't care what you say. I really don't. This is my personal rankings. This is how I feel and what I see going into the season. I see the top 5 teams being the Bengals, Chiefs, Eagles, 49ers, Bills, and Jags. Well, actually, that's top 16. Outside of the Jags. And I think all 5 of those teams could go win the Super Bowl this upcoming season. I think we're going to win it, but again, like I said, if you tell me any of those 5 teams win it, I'm not going to be that surprised, / confused. So definitely tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'm going to be updating this every single week with new projections and new predictions and obviously new rankings depending on what happens in every single week. See you guys next one. Peace.